Welcome to Comment Cocktails. I'm your host, Derek Trover. Got me, Ian Andrews, like last week.
Just like last week.
Yeah.
Only today, we're not making a cocktail.
It's science, bitch.
Today's science. Cocktail science.
So.
You should have wore your shirt that says it's science, bitch.
Oh, come on.
You want to start over?
I don't have that, but no, we're good. So, one of the questions we get a lot, especially when it comes to layering cocktails, is how come when you layered it worked and when I layered it didn't work? And what's the science behind how mine failed? Like, people think that they're layering it wrong. Like,
the simple answer is different ingredients.
Right, different
You're
brands.
not using the same brand.
And that makes a huge difference.
And there's a lot of variance in like a single like a blue curacao has a lot of variance between a Bowls or a Dicrouper versus a senior curacao in
especially
alcohol
senior, yeah.
percentage, or more importantly, specific gravity.
Right.
Or the relative density according to water.
Yeah, so water's like baseline is 1.
Yeah.
Right?
So
is it 1?
Yep.
It's 1.
So the specific gravity of water is 1.0, and the reason of that is because 1 fluid ounce of water weighs 1/10 of an ounce. Or no, yeah, 1/10 of an ounce. No, 1 ounce. I'm sorry.
A whole ounce.
Yeah, no,
so if you put
I'm
water
thinking
on
the
there,
accuracy of the scale. Yeah. So what we're gonna do first is we'll take
water,
and
we're gonna separate these because Derek's gonna go freaking crazy.
Yep.
And you're gonna measure out water on this scale to see what it comes out to.
Yeah. So I got this scale. It's $20 on Amazon. It's accurate to 0.001 ounces, which is pretty good.
So when they talk about calibration,
grams.
Typically they're just like they're a little off on like the 3rd decimal point. And you're like, oh, I've had somebody who wanted to pay me for a thermometer once.
Don't you want to zero it with the weight of the?
Yes, I wanted to
tear it. Tear it.
It had to initialize before I put the tear weight on.
Gotcha.
It has to
initialize.
initialize.
Yeah, you got to tear it so that you have an accurate measurement.
It's minus 0.72.
So just so that we're going to get accurate with our we're going to use these bulb pipettes. How's that?
Whoa.
1 ounce?
Dude.
Oh, I am on an ounce. Okay.
But
so,
no, you're 1 point. Oh, you just. You know
just
what
magicked it?
How did you magic
it?
That?
Was air.
It was air.
So that's exact. You poured a perfect ounce.
I think this is on the on the mark. So.
Oh, you know what? It could be also the tables.
Not on. You want that camera on?
What camera?
The mark camera.
The mark camera.
Oh, should we put the
Yeah,
mark
we should
camera?
do that because then I can see the scale.
Okay. Usually I don't do that.
So pour an ounce of water. If everything works and you can see through that thing, you'll be able to see that it's 1.000 ounces.
Oh God, no! You're never gonna see that.
Oh, you won't see that.
You won't see it? Should I turn it around, or you won't see it?
No, then we won't see it. We're kind of important to see.
Okay,
it. They could trust that we're reading it correctly. Plus, we can lie if we have to if it's not working out. It's science.
Well, that'll get disproved.
Well, fuck those people.
Science. So 1 ounce of water, 1 ounce weighs 1 ounce. That means it's specific gravity of 1. Things with a lower density in the same volume are going to have a lower weight. Things with a higher density, which are going to sink, are going to have a higher weight in the same volume. So it's more dense. It weighs more per volume.
For the same amount of volume.
For the same volume.
So if I filled that thing up with pure simple syrup,
it should be heavier than 1 ounce.
Because it's got particles that you can't see in it that are weighing it down.
Yes, like grenadine. Grenadine sinks because it's a heavy syrup.
It's got syrup stuff. It's not water.
Right.
If it was water, it would be the worst grenadine ever.
Yes.
I think.
Water makes terrible grenadine.
Why are you rubbing that across my leg? You know, like that.
You like it.
Okay.
So,
I'm right.
There's a few different ways to measure specific gravity. If you're familiar with the beer world, you got the old hydrometer, which is weighted, and basically, let me take the water again.
Can you weight water in there? In theory? Or is this not theory, it's just science again?
It's just science. So,
God, science is a bitch.
What you do is you take this, you stick it in the tube full of whatever liquid you're trying to measure the density of. You kind of like balance it out so that it's not like rubbing up on the sides.
Dude, it says 1!
Yeah, and there's multiple scales on here. There's balling for sugar. There's it's leaking. That's good. There's there's a
the resolution of this isn't as good, all right?
Right, because it's very eyeball. I mean, we got 1 right there, and then 0.9 right there. So that's 0.99. Sorry. So it's not bad. I mean, it's good enough for brewing and whatnot.
Right.
But for the sake of science, we got the scale so we can be a little more accurate.
You're never gonna fit all that in there. It should go out to 1 ounce. Why does it say 2? Oh wait, no.
Well,
that's a weighted system.
Yeah, this is not a.
You need a new one of those.
This is a buoyancy type system.
Yeah. And yours is broken.
That's all right. I can put the tape on the bottom. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, that's so cheap.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. So
what about that now? we got half a 1 on there. That's like 0.01 worth of weight.
All right.
So you have to have that thing weighted outright.
So we'll go back to 0, and I'll tear it again with this on.
Yeah.
And then we'll add an ounce of, we'll go for the extreme, we'll go with the Everclear. Which should be light, right?
And that's not the highest level of Everclear you can get. It's
No.
75.5% alcohol, 151 proof. But it's like we were thinking 151 proof rum, but Everclear seems to be like the cleanest of, I mean, it's undisputed. It's just grain alcohol at a high proof. And it's also the only one I can legally seem to get. So I don't, I have 198%, but, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Proof?
Proof. No, wait.
Yeah, you can't have more than 100%, bud.
You're right.
100% is all.
What is it? 90.
So
what's it? 98? 99. It can't be 100% because it turns into like gas or some shit.
Exactly right. So 1 ounce of 151 comes in at 0.878. So it's really light compared to water.
That's a lot lighter than water.
Which is why it floats. Here, drink that.
No! God no. So you can pour that back in there.
That might make you feel better.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
It's clean. Yeah.
You don't, it's all good.
Nothing's living in this.
No.
You wouldn't do this in a real bar.
You get sued.
We do it in our bar. We just went.
I would also lick right off the front. So like, do whatever you want in your house. If anybody complains, tell them.
So should we write these down? Those 0.878?
0.8. You come up with these writing things down, and I don't even have a piece of paper.
Right.
Wait, is that a pen right there?
But you know what you do have? A whiteboard.
Oh, I do. What was that now?
0.878.
0.878.
Yeah. So now we'll go to a
0.878.
Tito's. So straight vodka, which is 40% alcohol, which is your standard proof for distilled spirit.
Right.
For
And I picked Tito's
distribution and whatnot.
for a couple of reasons. One, it was pretty
Sitting
close.
right in front of us.
Right. Two, I kind of look at Tito's as the baseline vodka for the most I don't mean this in a negative way, but the most tasteless, neutral version of a vodka.
It does have a taste though.
It does have a taste.
When you put it in a line of vodkas.
Jennifer figured it.
I figured it out.
So if Jennifer can tell, then there's definitely some uniqueness.
Tito's comes in at 0.92.
0.92.
So we got a 40% alcohol coming in at 0.92. So that should definitely float under the Everclear. Obviously, right?
Right.
Everclear floats on top of everything.
So,
do you want to pour that back in there?
Yeah. So by that theory, then, while it would look pretty dumb, you could float water with vodka and grain alcohol in Everclear on top.
Based on what we know, that's exactly how we layer.
But you might not find it, and it would be the most.
You wouldn't see it.
It would just not be very much fun.
Actually, you'd have to color. Could you
Color the water?
color the water?
I've done that before, but that does
food color
change.
the vodka.
I think that changes. It changes.
Just like a drop.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to do a lot.
Yeah,
but then
you'd
the
have to be
vodka, the
careful.
middle layer would be different. That's a good idea.
I think I did.
Jen, where were you when I was thinking about this?
Sorry.
So this is New Amsterdam Orange. It's one of their new flavors. We're going to be reviewing it.
Right.
But it's 35%, which means it's probably had some sugar added or something else that's not alcohol.
So in theory, it should be. I'm going to go with 0.97. Does that sound like a good number? Can that happen,
buddy?
And let me. And if you want, you can also. There's these things called websites, and if you search.
0.963.
Oh.
Not bad though.
0.94 is vodka. Melon is 0.95. 0.95. So they count Sky as all 0.95.
Well, look at the orange vodka for Smirnoff.
Oh,
It's
0.9614.
Yeah.
So it must
pretty
be a
close to the
flavoring. But that's weird that the specific flavor gives it a different number.
Depending on the elements they use, it can
So
have an
what was
effect.
that?
That's 0.963.
And that was Amsterdam. What are you doing?
No, you're doing that later.
Did you just drink that?
No. I poured it away. Poured it down something.
On something, whatever.
So
now you could do.
Not his.
Oh, here's the 0.96. Is that supposed to be a 6?
Yeah.
So here's the problem. When you get from 0.92 to 0.96, as the variants get closer together, they fall.
they're going to be more likely to mix the closer you are.
And then that's how you get, because you'll see some layered recipes are perfect finite lines, and other ones blend in. So if you did like a white and a blue, if they come together, you get a green in between. Is that right?
Oh, yeah,
you get a
blurring
color
effect,
blur,
yeah.
depending on the different colors. If you use Midori and a blue, you can get all kinds of cool color effects. Some people are like, I don't understand, I want it to be all lined up. And you're like, well, your densities are too close together.
We're going to do cool one in a second.
Why, is there a trick to that? Or
Yeah, I'm just being future minded. So
the idea is
you just
want to keep the white out of there.
we're gonna layer these two. This is a 15% alcohol, so it's got probably a lot of sugar in it. And this is a cream base, so it's going to be heavy because of the fat, but it's only 16% alcohol. So they're very close in alcohol content.
Right.
But the densities are different because of the content. The things that
the sugars and the
that are in
creams.
there.
and the cream, the things that are in there, the constituents.
The constituents are different.
That makes me think of voting.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Makes me think of. So we got our De Kruper Luscious Blueberry Blast, which sounds high.
Sounds like
quality,
sugar in a
great
jar.
stuff. And that's coming in at 1.052.
So it's heavier than
Heavier
water.
than water.
So it's dense. It's heavier than water.
And that's the blueberry stuff?
And that's
Yeah.
the blueberry stuff, and that's going right in the shot glass first. Which is why I did this first.
I thought you did it because you didn't want to decolor your thing with white.
Well, that and I knew that this was going to be
Right.
on top, so I wanted to.
So if you don't know the math and you layer them backwards, one is going to push the other out of the way, or they're going to get in a weird mess. In this case, it would just be a weird mess. Like if you put that in first, it's going to pull, because of the white, it's going to pull down, and all of the clear will sink to the bottom, but it's going to pull down like stripes of
You
white.
poured too much on purpose.
Oh, it's just a sip.
So you'll end up with streaking. And if you don't want streaking, you have to pour them in the right order.
So I didn't tear it first, but the coolest one comes in at a 1.036.
That's not much
That's
difference.
heavier too.
It's not much difference, but it is
Yeah,
plenty
but
to float.
you'll be surprised on
Yeah.
the layer that it makes.
Yeah, that's like not much at all.
'Cause
You wouldn't think.
spoiler alert, we did this.
Yes. So I'm just going to do this first because it has a cool effect. So these are just little bulb pipettes. You can get these on Amazon dirt cheap. So it kind of dissipates, and then it's going to start layering. And I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's going to create like a...
Oh, it starts to sink under, but pops it back up.
It does that brain hemorrhage thing, right?
Yeah. Where if you want to create a brain hemorrhage, which I think is peppermint,
Creme de
Creme de
menthe,
menthe,
Baileys, and grenadine.
and grenadine on top, and then typically people would dump their finger or something into the like
See how I
that.
just shot that? Yeah, you can put
To
this
get
under
that.
pressure. But see how it comes right back up because of the density, right?
But it's not curdling. Like some people go, oh, it's curdled. No, it's because it's like a blanket. If you roll a blanket up, it falls in a specific way. It's not because it's like chemically changing. Whoa. And the best part is the further away you can get these elements from each other, the
more that effect is.
Yeah, and the less clean you have to be with your pour.
Yes.
Like an atomic bomb.
Yeah, if you have two that are really close together, you end up with like some of that stuff happening where they.
Which is just because it was kind of a rough pour.
Right.
It's
if
like
you use
folding
like a
itself.
gravity release jig or something to slowly pour it down.
Zevro or Zervo.
Yeah, Zevro, it'll layer better.
Yeah.
If the ingredients are wildly apart, if you did 151 in Irish or 151 in Bailey's,
So, for
you
example-
could probably free pour that shit.
Which one should we do?
gonna-
We'll do some Tito's on top just so you can see the layering.
Yeah, you should be able to see it.
Yeah,
It
should be
it's a
very
little
apparent.
difficult to see because of the white, and it doesn't always show up. Like
But if we put enough of that.
if you
on.
put
Clear.
if you put enough, it becomes very obvious, and it doesn't really detract from the flavor. It just makes it taste a little bit more like you just got
Stronger.
punched in the face. So you can already see it. Now the trick when layering on top of the Irish cream is the cream pulls up a lot of it and makes it like a cloudy,
Yeah. So
like
you,
a B50. Is it B52? The one that has Cointreau on top. The Cointreau tends to get cloudy because of the fact that if it was a different ingredient like blue curacao, they split pretty good. But if you look close enough, there's usually a blue tint, unless you get a perfect layer.
so you can see, hopefully, that there's a little. I'm not gonna put too much on here because
you-
the shot's only too big. Only so big. But you can see that there's some separation there, and that's
Right.
because the vodka, which has lower specific gravity, is layering on top of the cream.
And that vodka, if you were to be able to peel that off, it would probably not want to mix with a regular vodka because you've changed some of the content because it's pulling those particles up.
Which changes its specific gravity
Right.
because its contents have changed.
It's like adding orange to your vodka.
So just a disclaimer on all this. This is all only as good as your measurement systems.
Right.
So, like I said, this is accurate to a thousandth of a gram, which is awesome. That's our that's not our bottleneck. Our bottleneck is this right here. So measuring an exact ounce in this is not going to be necessarily accurate the whole time. So our
You want a thin one.
yeah, you want a nice you want it wide at the bottom and then thin right at the point of measurement. So if it looks like an Erlenmeyer flask, it's like those science flasks, and the ounce is right on the neck. Yeah. So if this were an ounce measurement and the ounce measurement were up here, that's going to be a lot more accurate than one that's just like this.
Right, because there's so much. The changes in height is so drastic because you have such a wide base of liquid. Where you up here
Plus,
is not
when you
so
get
much.
close to the measurement point, you can be a lot more accurate because of that.
which
So-
is what if you read Liquid Intelligence, he uses more product like this for all of his measurements.
Right.
Because he uses the tall, thin ones
They
to
like
do
those
his
tall, thin jiggers. They're more
right.
accurate, yeah.
Because he wants the accuracy. Because he's kind of science. Dave Arnold's crazy about science.
He is.
So
Booker and X, his bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. His bar / experimental laboratory.
you're basically drinking his lab experiments, which is just it's kind of weird.
So-
But I think that I can link this for all the people who are going, hey, well, I don't understand why this doesn't work, because every one of these is going to be a little different.
Right. I think that's a good way to understand the layering and why things do or don't work or do or don't layer on top of each other.
Right. And a great example, citrus vodka from Smirnoff is 0.96. This one was 0.965. Not a
Three.
huge 0.963. That's
Yeah.
a horrible 3.
Yeah.
Not a huge
I'm
difference.
used to your rating.
Right. But if that it's not, I would not be surprised if you grabbed another citrus, which I might have down there, and it could be, if it was 0.97 or something like that.
I mean, if you look at some of the other, according to this chart, which if you Google
even
cocktails,
that, vanilla
spirit-specific
vodka.
gravities, yeah, you look at like the watermelon vodka from Smirnoff, it's 0.98,
Right. So
where the vanilla is 0.97.
right. So if you were at home watching us make a cocktail with this, like with an orange, right? And you're like, I don't have orange. I have watermelon, and I think that would be a great taste. So you're like, oh, watermelon or whatever the other components, that will sub out for the fact that I don't have orange. And then you put those together, and you're like, what the hell is this layering weird? I saw Derek do it, and he used a flavored vodka, and I have a flavored vodka. Even if they're the same brand, they might, it might not be the same because the flavors are different. Apparently, there's a wide.
Yeah, I mean,
wide
there's a
range.
200th of an ounce difference between the watermelon and the citrus, basically.
Right. And that could change the way it looks. And if you're doing this by way, you have to know, or you can measure out the gravity, get something to do it, or read, if you Google
Yeah.
for
More importantly,
specific gravities.
if there's something out there that somebody has done scientifically, you can get a better feel. This was a demonstration
Right.
purpose.
Now you can go Google specific gravity vodka,
Yeah.
and you'll get a whole bunch of like strawberry liqueurs at 1.1, triple sec.
Yeah.
See, in this case, they say, oh,
Different
Cooper,
gins, yeah.
triple sec. So you'll find a lot of people have done these measurements, but not all the brands are in there. So
Right.
if you have specific stuff and you're like, I want to measure this and this to do this really cool creation, if you get the tools, you could take your products and figure out where it aligns with the other ones you have, or just do them all yourself.
Totally,
And
yeah.
figure out what's going to work and then build it. Or you just layer them up, and if it works, it works.
Yeah, you can experiment. If you're going to experiment, I'd recommend doing experiments in small glasses, and these things are really cool because, or gravity release sugar, because you can just put in small amounts and you can put it down gently, so you
Right.
can.
And you'll never fill that entire thing to the tip.
No, it's impossible.
You want a question of the day?
Question today!
What bottle of alcohol have you regretted buying?
Hey, I don't think anybody's ever asked that.
No, that's a good one.
What bottle of alcohol have you ever regretted buying? I bought Patron once.
I regretted drinking like a Four Loko type drink once, but I didn't buy it, so I can't.
Yeah, you have to actually have bought it. I
I don't know.
can't think of anything where I'm like,
Your Cuervo Gold.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I did buy that. No, but I bought that specifically to show off as a.
That's for you.
Oh,
I made that for you.
Because you want me to drink this?
Yep. You wanted to drink.
You
that.
want to name it?
Um,
It smells like yogurt.
I mean,
The vodka on the top is not doesn't help.
no, I would.
It
That's
does
why
actually.
I didn't want to drink it.
No, what it did? It kind of tastes like a blueberry cream,
Yeah.
but without the vodka, it probably wouldn't have tasted like a shot. It's got a little burn to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that burn would have been there otherwise.
No, it
So
wasn't.
Probably not. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. Yeah.
It was delicious before the vodka.
no, we made it
Yeah,
up.
you messed it up.
Sorry.
No, we turned it into a man's drink.
Yeah.
All right, so we have
It's a
your
berries and
question.
cream shot. Named it.
We made it. So there you go. Anything you needed to know about specific gravity can be figured out with science.
Yes.
And that's our
We
show.
scienced the shit out of that.
We don't have to, I don't know, I think this is going on Monday, but we'll leave all the rest out. If you want to submit a recipe, go to recipe@everydaydrinkers.com, and you can go to everydaydrinkers.com too. Why would you go there for the... Oh, yeah.
Survey.
So for the survey, you can take the survey.
We're gonna be
you can
closing
join
it
our
down
mailing
on
list.
Sunday.
Yep, it'll be closed on Sunday. So get your surveys done.
In
Sunday
this
the
upcoming
30th.
Sunday?
It will be not this Sunday
Oh,
because
the
this
next
is
Sunday,
recorded
okay.
ahead
I was
of
gonna
time.
say, if you're putting this out on Monday, you probably don't want to say that.
No, it'll be
Yeah.
Sunday of the next week.
Gotcha.
And
I think
yeah,
it's
we'll
the
put this out on
30th.
Monday.
Sunday the 30th of August, 2015.
Right. And
We've already got 180, 190
no, I think
responses.
well, hold on.
Are we over 200 at this point?
We
No,
are
it was
at.
190
Oh,
earlier
mouse
tonight.
not moving.
Oh, yeah.
We're at. Where's the number?
190 earlier.
Where's the number? Oh, it's 190.
Yeah.
So there's a couple surveys in there.
190, yeah.
And
So thank you for all that filled out.
we'll get
Excellent
back to
job.
everybody. It's gonna be awesome.
We're expecting like 25, 30,
Yeah.
got
190,
200.
whatever.
Whatever.
Same thing. Statistically better anyway. Okay.
All right.
Good. We're teaching how to drink. Hidden Blair stuff. I'm just letting it bounce around my mouth.
So good once it hits your lips.
I'm gonna smell a little bit of that. Oh! I heard some cracking in my neck. Woo! Ah!
It's almost like